AJ Focus, thank you for joining me on a live video today. I know I did one yesterday, and I apologise that it sort of just stopped. It's really, really difficult to get a signal at the back of the workshop down there. So I thought I went out today. I got some fuel earlier. I was going to go look at a car, do a car review video, but unfortunately, the garage I was going to go to rang me and said, unfortunately, we can't allow it now because of how expensive the car is and also the mileage on it, and it's been dry stored ever since. Basically, I was going to go pick up a Focus RS 500 for the new channel that's coming. Unfortunately, I couldn't get hold of it, but fingers crossed. He said, let me think about it a bit more and I'll let you know. So fingers crossed we can get hold of that soon. But anyway, as you see by the title, my ownership of the Fiesta. I was actually just making a video. I've come up here and I was actually starting to make a video on it. I thought I might as well just make a live video that way. It saves me going back later and editing it, because I do have a few videos to edit later. So I thought I'd make this video because obviously you didn't get a video yesterday on Wednesday like you normally would do, and you didn't get a video last week either. So yeah, I've been taking a little bit of a break just because I'm trying to catch up on some editing, and I'm trying to stitch a load of videos together because I'm trying to make one big episode again. Like, I've been doing little bits in the car recently, so I'm trying to sort of stitch all the footage together to make a big episode like I did before. So that's why you didn't get an episode last week, because I've been busy for that week doing bits to the car. If you follow me on Instagram though, AJ Focus, you'll be able to see what I've been up to. And if you want to really help out the channel, like I said, we're getting so close now to doing the turbo episode and the build towards that. It's going to be my biggest video I've ever made on the channel, is the turbo upgrade on here. And you guys will really want to help out and help me push that video even more forward. Please go and sign up to my Patreon, or grab the merchandise. All the merchandise links are on my other videos or on my page as well, my YouTube home screen. There are links at the top that take you to my shop. So I would appreciate to anyone who does grab the merchandise, because like I said, it does massively help me push these videos out more forward. I'm getting hot there, that sun is right on me. So give me 2 seconds, do this window down, I'm getting really hot here. So yeah, I would hugely appreciate that to anyone who goes and grab the merchandise. I would need to get these videos done and out for you guys to watch. Stay tuned though, because I am busy making a second channel. So the second channel will be called Drive It with AJ. So that's coming very, very soon. I'm going to go home in a little while and start finishing that off. So Drive It with AJ is basically just going to be me going out and driving lots of fast cars. So all the fast car videos that are on the AJ Focus channel at the moment are now going to be going over to that channel, and all the new driving videos that I've got are going to be coming over to that channel as well. But don't go looking for it yet because it's not up yet. So yeah, stay tuned though, more information on that to follow. So Drive It with AJ is the new channel coming very, very soon. Hopefully be ready by the weekend. I just did have a message from someone. Judo, warm day, have a good Thursday. Thank you, mate, appreciate it. You too. But yeah, ownership on this Fiesta, CDEC SST diesel, whatever you want to call it. So 3 years, over 3 years I've owned this car. That is as long as my Focus ST. So in that time, has it been plain sailing? No, it hasn't. Have I loved it? Yes and no. You know, so it's a love-hate relationship with this car, as you know. I love it just because it's a diesel, and also I don't love it because it's a diesel, but I love it in that sense because I never have to fill this thing up, because it just keeps going. It's cheap to run, cheap to maintain. It just ticks all the right boxes, and in this current climate, I do believe I made the right choice after all. As you know, I've always wanted a diesel Fiesta, and now I've got one. I've had it for 3 years. I really, really love this car, to the point where I do want to get rid of it, but I don't, because I came so close to raffling it. That's what the car raffle was. I was raffling this car off, but I drew the raffle back. Luckily no one, because I didn't actually officially make the page where you can go and buy the raffle. I cancelled the page. It didn't go live, so thank God for that. No one bought any tickets, so that's good. So I ain't got to refund anyone, so because it wasn't live. So yeah, and then I stood back. I was like, I can't raffle it, you know. because I had another car lined up that I really wanted to go and get. I was going to buy a petrol turbo again, so I thought, no, you know what? I'm just going to hold out a little bit because of what Ford are doing at the moment. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, owned this car for 3 years, same amount of times for my Focus ST. I'm not comparing this to my Focus ST. My Focus ST completely different league to this. Torque-wise though, I think we're about the same if it's a normal Focus ST has been modified. But yeah, I grew tired of the Focus ST after my last year of owning it. I grew tired of just dry shaft issues. Maintenance was doing my head in, constantly checking the engine. Every time I wanted to go out, I was checking this, checking that. It's an absolute, as you know, people with Focus STs now, you know exactly what I'm on about. The maintenance and everything like that is just an absolute nightmare. It's not the cheapest things to run either, a 5-cylinder engine. I just grew tired of that car near the end. I grew tired of the dry shafts, so just constantly replacing those bloody shafts all the time. Don't get me wrong, I love the car in many ways. The soundtrack was amazing. The driving feel of that car was amazing, you know. But every time you stood back from it, it just looked like a typical 2005 Ford, where it was getting a bit old, a bit tiresome looking. And yeah, I just felt like I loved that car quite quickly near the end. I have thought about it many times going back to one, but every time I go and looked at one, I mean, I looked at one in Manchester when I was up there. I went out and drove it. I got in it, yeah, it brought back memories, but it also brought back memories of looking down at the fuel gauge. The guy chucked in 20 quid and you just saw that needle starting to go. And I'm like, And I was driving it. And I loved that 5-pot soundtrack. Thought it was great. But then afterwards, I'm like, you know what? There's nothing there anymore for me because I've already been there and I've experienced it. There's nothing really there for me to want me to go back to one. I mean, even looking at Focus RS, you know, there's nothing really there for me. I haven't, because I drive cars all day long, you know, for my job and that. I have driven Focus RSs as well as, you know, Mark IIs and Mark IIIs. But again, there's nothing really there for me now because I've been there and done it. Now, like, I'm not comparing that to this because it's far different. But in the current climate, I think I've made the right choice in buying a Fiesta diesel. Because as we know, the current climate is horrendous. The fuel prices are stupid. The traffic on the roads is beyond going anywhere now. It takes far too long. Even going to your local shops now, it takes longer than it should do. The roads are horrendous, especially now I'm back here. The amount of potholes and cracks and today alone, that wheel, that side of the car has been whacked so many times. I've tried avoiding them, and it's just sometimes impossible. I mean, what is going on out there, the roads? I mean, I think we should just take a strike on bloody paying our car tax, because I'll tell you what, nothing gets fixed. I mean, I'm quite surprised today, going down these potholes, I haven't burst a tyre, or I might have buckled an alloy. I'm quite surprised I haven't broken the suspension on that side, because this side, the passenger side, gets quite a whacking, and I'm getting fed up of it. I'm sure other people are as well. I mean, it's just ridiculous on the roads. So I think I've done the right choice in owning a Fiesta diesel in the current climate. You know, I'm hitting between, at the moment, 45, it gets to 52.8 mpg, and that is impressive. You know, my housemate has a hybrid Prius, and I said, what sort of mpg do you get? He gets between 46 to 50 mpg. I said, well, I'll go for 50, 52 mpg. He goes, well, that is brilliant. I said, sometimes you can get really close to 53. He goes, that is really impressive. At the moment, he's doing 40, I think he said. So I'm like, that's pretty bad for a hybridish sort of car. So I'm like, I'm glad I have this, you know. With the current climate though, like I said, is it worth getting one? I think it is. Any sort of diesel at the moment with a smaller engine is probably beneficial as a runaround. You know, you can still keep your project car, or you still get a fast car that you can take out on weekends, because the sun's coming out, so people are going to want to start getting their nice cars out again. So throughout that time in the year, you want to draw around something that's not going to break the bank, and so you can save your pennies and start modifying your other car, then by all means, I think it's a good choice to grab hold of something small, little Fiesta like this. A lot of people are going from the Mark 7, even the Mark 8 Fiesta, back to the Mark 6 because they like the way they actually drive. I've had a few people message me on Instagram, saying, oh, I've just come back from Mark 7 back to Mark 6. I forget how nice they feel and things like that. I'm like, yeah, they do, you know. I'm not a Fiesta fan in any way. As you know, I'm not a big Fiesta fan. I never have been a Fiesta fan since day one. But I drove a Fiesta for my first car, and I just like the way they feel. They're not the nicest things to look at interior wise. That very typical Ford 2005-ish interior, very cheap plasticky in here. Scratch is quite easy, especially on the passenger side. You get any girlfriends or your mates getting in with bags, something like that. It does, the lower plastic does scratch really, really easy, unfortunately. My plastics in here are actually okay. They haven't faded, they're not damaged. All the clips are intact, which is quite surprising. No rattles in here either, which is also surprising considering I don't have no back seats. No rattles or any annoying noises in here, which I can find or even exist. So that's really, really good. Build quality wise, like I said, it's just that typical Ford interior. It's really, really good. It's withstand, you know, over the years, and there's like no discoloring from the sun on the dashboard, no cracks. So yeah, if you get yourself a good one, you will like it. The only problem is with Fiestas or any sort of Ford of this era, you got to watch out for the rust. Unfortunately, the typical Ford corrosion rust is a main issue with these cars. Wheel arches are the main thing. Sometimes in the boot, and you do get a leaky rear end. Luckily for me, I've never had a leaky rear end. Very first thing I've done with this car was actually seal up all the seals and stuff. The common errors that might leak. So luckily for me, they never leaked. So I thought I'll just do it just in case it start leaking. So I have thought ahead on that. Yeah, just look out for rear arch, mostly the rear arches. The rear arches are an issue on here, as we know. I've had both arches at the back, the lower seals completely cut out and re-welded and resealed. I've even had it reinforced as well. Recently just had the driver's side redone as well. It's quite the whole seal at the back was completely gone. Probably about that much cut out, so I wanted to be safe and sound, so I asked them just cut a little bit more out so you can reinforce it as well. And also the jacking points, they get crushed as well. Luckily my jacking points and my seals are actually in good condition. Apart from the two rears, which have now been replaced and cut out, they've been reinforced as well. So I've had it all done, welding, and I've had it under sealed. Obviously I spent in lockdown under sealing it, rust proofing it. So I have tried preserving and protecting the car as much as I can. I have replaced probably about 60% of the bolts on here as well. For some weird reason, Ford bolts just seem to disintegrate as soon as you touch them. I mean, I know it's Ford cutting corners and cutting costs on stuff, but for God's sake, I mean, if you touch a bolt on here that's really, really rusty and corroded, chances are it's either going to snap or just disintegrate inside the socket, and they have many times on me, and I've just ended up replacing them. Copper grease is your friend. WD-40 is massively your friend on working on Fords or any sort of bolt. So, and if you've got those special sockets that actually grip into to a rounded bolt, that again, those sockets are your friend, especially working on cars like as old as this now. Unfortunately, it happens. But yeah, with Ford bolts and hardware, they just disintegrate. As soon as you touch it, it's like, oh no, and then just you pull your socket out. Where the bloody hell did that go? You know, it's just bad cutting costs, I think. Like I said, I've replaced about as much as I can on the car, and I do preserve it as much as I can. Unfortunately, it is a daily of mine, so it does. I try to avoid standing water at any sort of dirty roads. If the road looks dirty, I will take a different route, you know, things like that. So in certain ways, I do try and keep it relatively clean underneath, and I do get under there sometimes and do a deep clean as well. I do take everything off, get under there, and clean everything up. And if it looks like it needs more under seal, I will apply more under seal. You know, I've got a big tin of it still, so yeah, I have looked after it as much as I can. The exhaust on here rusted off, so in the end, instead of just replacing the exhaust with a standard one, I went and bought the Miltech system from a Fiesta ST, had the centre of it cut, extended, and then made to meet the downpipe. Stainless steel as well, so now we ain't got to worry about a rusty exhaust anymore. I do have a message very quickly anyway. I don't want to go off topic, but is it ULEZ exempt? Sorry, I got my glasses on. I think it is. I think you'd be alright with that, to be honest. But do check your local areas to see what cars are okay for the ULEZ. Is it ULEZ or something like that? Yeah. Just check your local areas and things like that. I mean, I go down to Portsmouth and there's like a low emission zone and things like that. And I've gone through there, no issues. So I've never had anything in the post. So I think we're all good on this sense. Please don't let this car park become busy. Are the kids at school still? They're still on holiday at the moment. Yeah, so it's been a good car. I mean, it's helped me move house a few times. It's helped me move from Manchester and back, and it was a good trooper. It didn't let me down at all. It's even with weight in the car, it feels much better. It just went along really happy, like, you know, and I can't fault it in any way at all. You know, I love this thing, and then I don't love it sometimes. It's a love-hate sort of relationship. And I can't really think about replacing it with anything just yet. You know, I do want to, but I don't know what I would replace it with. This car park's now becoming quite busy. Everyone seems to have come in at once, and they're all in urban crossovers. Awesome. If you're looking at buying one, yes, do it. I think you'll like it. A lot of people do come back to them. A lot of people sell them, regret it, then come back to them. You know, because I've owned this for 3 years. I love it, and I hate it, but I love it now even more than ever. You know, I think with the stuff I've done recently, I'll stand back and look at it and appreciate it a bit more. Yeah, so I really do appreciate the car what it is, and okay, it's not the quickest thing in the world. It does get going really. It does surprise me. It does surprise other cars as well. You know. Hasn't been plain sailing though, as we know, injectors, I've upgraded the injectors on it, the bigger injectors, and that has made a huge difference. Occasionally I do have fueling issues. We have crossed over that. I am going to change the fuel filter in the next few days, so I'll probably do a little video on that and then combine it in the big video that I will be making. So, maintenance side of it though, it's cheap as chips. £30, that's all it is to maintain this car. Oil and oil filter, that is it. If you're going to do a full maintenance thing like changing brakes, oil, brake fluid, power steering fluid, things like that, it's obviously going to be close to 50, 60 quid, something like that. But after that, you won't need to change anything again. It's just oil and oil filter, and that's all I need to do. So yeah, about 30 odd quid, I think. That's it. The filter and oil. Done. I ain't got to do anything else. No spark plugs. Yeah, filter I've just replaced with Ram Air, so thank you to Ram Air for sending that out. So I've got a brand new filter on here, and all you got to do with that is just wash it or just hoover it off like I normally do anyway. £30 tax for the year. If you got the 1.4, I think it's £20 tax for the year. So really cheap as well. If you want to fill this car up, it's about £50 to £55 to fill it up. So really good. Between 470 to 500 miles for a full tank, which is again awesome. And I never have to fill this thing up. You know, I fill this thing up probably every 2 months. You know, I'm never at fuel stations. I've literally just gone to the fuel station now and just filled it up. I chucked in about 25 quid's worth of diesel, and it's just, yeah, it's over. It's almost. Well, I got my glasses on. Yeah, over half a tank, way over half a tank. So, yeah, really good. Like I said, I never have to fill up. I'm hitting about 48 mpg at the moment. If you're on the motorway, definitely go over 50, 52 mpg. I got to 52.8 on the way to Manchester. Really good, that was, and I was really surprised, you know. I was like, wow, okay. Even with the modifications, even with the map and stuff on here, it still get really good mpg. And it's amazing, you know, that you can still get that even with a few upgrades, subtle upgrades and things like that. It still chuffs along really nicely, and it does. You know, I've worked it out. You know, you look at when you reset your trip computer, and then you look at your mileage that you've got on your fuel, you work it out, and you like actually think, yeah, it is actually doing exactly what it's saying. So it does average exactly what it is. So that's really good. Very easy to modify this car. Very little you need to do if you want to get good gains. You know, you can just remap it from stock. You know, you can easily get 120 horsepower, close to 130 out of the stock stuff on there. It's if you want to go a little bit bigger, intercooler and exhaust, have it flow, injectors, and then the stock turbo. Still, you can still get 130 to 140ish horsepower. I think the standard turbo maxes out about 130 something horsepower, and then people put the 110 turbo on here. The new Mark 5 Fiesta Focus turbo. Again, you're looking between 150 to over 200 horsepower and close to 400 to 500 newton meters of torque. So again, very little things to get there. So it's impressive what you can do with the HDI engine. That's even before you dive internally. You know, it's just a simple bolt-on stuff, and then you're instantly at that. So it's really, really good on that sense. I do get asked questions quite a lot on Instagram saying, why didn't I get the Fiesta ST150? Now, I did consider getting a Fiesta ST of this era, Mark 6, but I'm not bitching at anyone who's got a Fiesta ST or being negative towards them, because I get people why they want Fiesta ST, because they can say I've got a Fiesta ST, you know, things like that. But when that car came out, it was so underwhelming. I have driven one, don't get me wrong, I have driven one, and I did find it underwhelming as well. I found it very lacked in power, very lacked in torque. It was literally revving, and it's just like you look down, you're like, I'm not bloody going anywhere. You know what I mean? So I didn't want a Fiesta ST just because I've had naturally aspirated engines in the past, and I spent thousands, especially back in the day, my old Clio days, 172. I spent thousands on that just to gain 9 horsepower or 10 horsepower. It's absolutely ridiculous, it was. And I just knew if I went for a Fiesta ST version of this, I'd be paying all that money, especially for car tax, for fuel, revving the nuts out of it, and not getting anything out of it, like, apart from paying all that money out. So it didn't seem at the time beneficial, even financially suitable, for an old car like that. It's very underpowered, underwhelming in my sense. This is just my personal view on it and my logical thinking of it. It made more logical sense to buy the diesel version, which is cheaper on tax, cheaper on fuel, and you can definitely modify it better to get the same amount of horsepower and more torque. And then if you do one bigger, more horsepower, even more torque, basically the same car. The ZS one is basically an ST. You can, everything about it is same chassis setup, everything. You know, just change the brakes like I've done, do suspension upgrades, and then boom, you know, TDCI power, man. So I thought of it as a more logical sense of financially more stable owning the diesel version, because I don't really want to pay 250, 300 pounds car tax, about 30, 40 quid's worth of petrol and that thing, and then in about an hour you're like, I ain't gonna fill this thing up again, and then you're paying that for car tax as well. Don't get me wrong, people buy it for the enthusiasm of them. I get that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bitching at anyone, this is just my personal view on why I didn't go for the Fiesta ST. I get asked this question, and I'm just going to say it as it is. I don't like the Fiesta ST version because of those reasons. I love the diesel version because it makes more sense. I've had a Focus ST, and I actually thought about getting the Focus ST ZS diesel, because, again, you can get the ZS with this ST body kit on it. But I didn't want to go down that road. I wanted the Fiesta version. Like I said, I wasn't a dig anyone, so don't get upset anyone. It's just my personal view on why I didn't want one. I say I got asked a question, and now I've answered it. I prefer the diesel version. Yeah, I've owned it now, like I said, for 3 years, a long time, you know. And I still get asked questions a lot, which I don't mind. People can come ask me questions, you know, it's good. You know, people are still learning. Not everyone's mechanically minded, so I do hope my videos do help. They're not always how-to videos. They're just there, you know. I do like just creating content, you know. I know I'm a bit quirky, I'm a bit all over the place sometimes, but that's just because of my ADHD. I have to say exactly what I'm thinking. I am just like this all the time, so my energy is up all over the place. So I have to say it as it is. Yeah, I'll say get one. Get one. Don't get the 1.4 diesel. 1.6 is the one you want to get. Really, you do, because it has the intercooler, and you can easily get more gains out of it. 1.4 is you get very little gains. So, but I'm not after numbers. As you know, I'm not a numbers guy. I've never been chasing numbers. I've never been anything like that. You know, I just like for me, I like a car that looks really, really nice. You know, very clean looking. As you know, my builds are very, very clean. You know, I don't go too mad. I don't go stupid vinyls and decals everywhere. I don't have it standing out. I don't have vents and massive wings on it. I'm very subtle in how I do things on my cars, because one, I don't like the attention. I've had that when I was younger. I didn't like the attention then. I definitely don't like it now. So yeah, my builds are very, very clean looking, you know. I do enhance little bits. I don't have anything outside the car, even advertise my Instagram. I don't have things, like I said, I don't like things standing out. My interior is exactly the same. I don't like things that are painted. I like it very minimal, tasteful, you know, because I'm in here all the time. If I saw this center console painted a bright, vibrant color, I'm looking at that all day long, that would probably drive me insane. It reflects on the glass, that would probably drive me insane. But again, it's all personal choice and personal taste, isn't it? If you want to go down that route, by all means, it's your car, you do what you want. If it makes you happy, then by all means. But things like that, I've never been into loud and out there sort of cars. I used to back in the day, in the max power days, loud exhaust, spoilers, splitters, body kits, sound systems. I had a boot build many times in my cars back in the day. I had massive subwoofers and everything in my cars, you know. I am thinking about putting an under-seat subwoofer on the passenger seat, so I am looking into getting an under-seat one. I just want a little one. Now I've got the head unit, I could probably easily wire that in, so I probably will look into like a little subwoofer, just because the speakers are pretty good, but I just want a little bit of bass in here. But other than that, I don't go too mad with it. As I say, it's all personal choice. Basically, Ford are, as we know, dropping the Fiesta. Now, Ford, I don't know if they watch my views, it would be very interesting if they did. I think Ford are making a huge mistake, and a lot of other people are. A lot of people have gone to social media and, you know, said about the anger they are now. They're dropping the Fiesta. I think Fiesta in the UK is the best-selling car Ford makes anyway, and now they're dropping it. That is a massive, massive gamble that they are doing. I know they dropped the Mondeo, they dropped the Galaxy, they dropped the S-Max, the C-Max, they dropped the Focus, and now they've just dropped the damn Fiesta, which is their best-selling car in the UK, at the Ford range. They dropped the Ford Edge. It didn't sell very well, the Ford Edge. I like the Ford Edge. I thought it was a good-looking car. I thought, out of the SUV range, I thought the Ford Edge was awesome. I know it's very American, but I thought it was a good car, you know. The Americans got the ST version of it. We didn't, which is weird. So I think they had a V6 twin turbo over there, or just a naturally aspirated V6. Can't exactly remember, but yeah, I think that was awesome. But yeah, gamble. Ford are now focusing purely on EVs, which is a big... They're going for a new market. They're going for a new look, I'm guessing. Mistake. Because I think they might lose quite a bit of customers. I know they're trying to get new customers, but I don't think it's going to go that way. Not everyone can afford an electric car. Do that window up, that kid is screaming. No one can really afford electric cars, really. Unless they're going to make a electric car under £30,000, which are very doubtful, especially a small car. Not everyone's... The problem with EV cars, they make them so ridiculously big. So many blind spots, you know. They're relying on beeps and sensors and cameras. I don't get why they can't do what Vauxhall have done. They've made the Corsa a damn fucking Corsa. It still looks like a Corsa, but it's electric. I've driven the electric Corsa. You can see the video on my Instagram if you want to see me driving that. And I thought the electric Corsa was awesome. You know, wow, it's very surprising as well. You put it in sport mode and Jesus, it is very, very... Not very good range. Just over 200 and something a mile range. And if you put it in sport mode, it does drop quite quickly. But I was actually really, really surprised on the electric Corsa and really, really liked it. It didn't try to be anything but that. It was just a freaking Corsa. You look at it from the outside, it's just a Corsa. You get interior, it has no gear stick, it's just a button here. There's just a Corsa inside. They didn't try to make it fancy. It's got a touchscreen entertainment system, that's probably about it. But other than that, you look around, you get out of a petrol or diesel Corsa into electric, and they all look the same. So that's what I sort of like that Vauxhall did. They weren't too scared to put that to market. And I do see a lot of Vauxhall E's on the road. And I think that's brilliant, you know, because I've driven one and I do actually like it. I'm not a Vauxhall fan in any way. I had a Corsa, my first car was a Vauxhall Corsa B. And ever since then, I've never been fond of Vauxhalls, you know. For my job, I drive loads of different cars and I do occasionally get Vauxhalls and I'll get in it and it's just, I don't like being in Vauxhalls. It's something about them, you know, they don't drive as nice as a Ford, I don't think. But I really like the e-Corsa. So I think Ford making their big SUV electric cars are, it's a gamble. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're going to lose quite a bit of their customers. I think that's what they're going to do. And I know a lot of people are a bit upset that the Fiesta got dropped. I'm upset that the Fiesta got dropped, you know, because the Mark will be on the 8th. Okay, none of the Fiestas to me have been amazing. None of the Fiestas are pretty to look at. I think I've never been a Fiesta fan, as you know, but the Mark 8 I think was the last ever Fiesta, and I really do. If you are watching, I doubt they are, but if you are listening, for God's sake, please make a special edition, one-off Fiesta. I don't limit it to numbers. And the same the Focus. If you're going to make your iconic cars, the RS, Focus ST, Focus RS, Fiesta ST. I know you never made an RS version, but this is it. This is the time now to have one last hurrah. Make the Focus ST, RS, Fiesta ST, and make a Fiesta RS. Make those last ones a massive come to market, you know. Just make them and then go to the EVs and see how it goes. It's not gonna, they're not going to do that, are they? But it would be good. So, yeah, this has been quite a bit of a long video, so I hope you all enjoyed my little talk. I haven't really talked much about, I did talk about my ownership, not as much. Like I said, a lot of people ask me, is it a good car to have, to own? Yes, it is. I think it's a good car to own, good car to have, especially in the current climate. Easy gains and stuff like that if you're going for numbers and stuff. But I'm going to hide those people behind me because I don't want people on camera. That little girl's crying, bless her. She's got to go home, can't go in the park anymore. That dog down there is looking like, are we going? The dog looks quite old though. He's like, oh, bless him, just fell off that curb. I think that dog's knackered as well. He's like, oh, I just want to go home now and have a drink of water and go to bed. Oh yeah, he's an old dog. He's got to get helped in the back. Oh, bless him. He's got his own little ramp to help him in. Anyway, yeah. Like I said, maintenance-wise, cheap. Tax, cheap. Fuel, cheap. Modifying it, relatively cheap. If you do it carefully and you do your research. It takes me a long time to do things on the car, but it's because I'm doing a lot of research and looking into how I can do it cheaper but more efficient. What we've done to the car over the years: intercooler, RS, Focus RS Mark II intercooler, pipe work has been upgraded, intake for an MB styling, oil catch can, ram air filter, bigger fuel injectors from the Focus, which I found out was the newest injectors you can get for the car, so they're in there. Stainless steel Multec exhaust system on here. ST coilover. They're not Focus or not Ford ST. They're just There's a company called ST coilovers on here. Focus ST 300mm discs and bigger brake calipers on there from a Focus ST. Focus ST wheels on this car. Nankang NS2R tyres all round. Nice sticky rubber. Yeah, so simple stuff like that has gave me good gains, you know, and a simple remap as well. 100 maxed out, 130-ish horsepower, something like that, and 250 newton meters, something like that. So simple, easy gains if you want to do that. So I don't go for numbers and stuff like that. I'm just happy that it does feel like you put your foot down and it's like, yo, that's better. You know what I mean? Just that nice feeling, you know, instant torque. You know, it's that. I don't like that feeling of it coming. I like the lagginess a little bit, but I like the feeling when you're like, oh, and there it goes. You know what I mean? Just and then you're on and off. I just play around with it sometimes. And they're like, oh, that feels good. Now just let the speed drum down, and then let's go again, and then we go again. And so I did that on my Focus ST quite a lot as well. But I purely did that for the pops and bangs and that 5-cylinder rumble. But anyway, guys, time's getting on. It's now 3:30. I'm going to head home, grab some food, and I've been Mr. AJ Focus. Thank you for joining me on my ownership and just a general random chat today on the Fiesta. I hope you enjoyed my ownership view and everything that I've discussed about in today's video. I hope it's opened up some eyes and doors for people, what they wanted to do in their situation. Are they looking at buying one? Is it a good time to buy one? I think it is a good time to buy one. Get one now, because I think they're going up in value because of what Ford are dropping the Fiesta. So everyone's going to want to grab one and hopefully hold on to them. yeah, I personally would go and get one, you know, definitely. If you can, just be careful when you're buying them. I mean, as you know, rust is an issue on these massive. You have to really, really be careful, especially on the chassis arms, the wheel arches. Just properly check it out. I know you're going to look like a bit of a dick. Don't think you're being a bit of a dick by being like that around someone's car. Well, I mean, you're spending money. You're spending quite a few bits of money on a second-hand car. And as we know, Ford's rust. So you're not. Don't feel like you're being cheeky. I mean, you do have to check them out. Rust is an issue with them. Just be very, very careful. That's all I say. Try to avoid any crash damage ones, so that's been repaired, because again, it's they're weak now, aren't they? The car's weak. They're old, so they're going to be quite weakened by that. There are loads of parts out there, as well, if you're ever wondering. Are parts hard to get? No. I've never found any issues trying to find parts. It's as easy as just quickly Googling it or going on the forums or on eBay, and boom, it's someone's breaking one. There's tons of these Mark 6s everywhere. You're never shy of getting some parts, that's for sure. Yeah, that's basically my overview on the car, really, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Sorry I've not brought any videos the last week or two. I hope this one sort of have filled the gap for now. Stay tuned though, there are going to be some driving videos coming on the Fiesta as well. I'm going to do a walk and a talk round. I could end the video just very quickly on the walk and a talk round out here. Let's just end the video on a bit of a walk around outside while I'm sat here. If you got to this point in the video, if you wouldn't mind just dropping a comment down below, just saying what we're on, 3705. If you just write it down below, I got to 3705. I appreciate that. We're going to quickly get out then and just have a quick walk around the car. I wasn't planning on doing this because this is a separate video, but I will do a quick walk. I did do this video the other day in the back roads of Mexico, and the wind that week was horrendous. As you know, last week or the week before, we had massive, strong winds, and I went out that day hoping to get a good video, and it didn't come out very good. So yeah, let's have a look at the outside of the car. Okay. That's now covered in bird poo. It's a bit windy here as well. Oh, I've been sat down way too long, my legs are killing me. The car park's now empty. So yeah, there's the old girl, looking mighty fine. You might have saw the window tint episode. I've recently just tinted the front window again. As you can see though, you can see in the car very, very easy. The light comes in, you can see I'm in the car. So it's a very, very nice tint on there. And I did go past a few police cars, and they've not actually said anything or not pulled me over yet. So, you know, touch wood sort of thing. You know, because like I said, you can see right in. It's very getting black at the back already. Jesus. It's got a nice stance to it. I'm thinking about raising it slightly just because it's a bit uncomfortable. I do like the stance, but it's a bit uncomfortable. I do want to spend a bit more money later on and get some better coilovers where I can adjust the dampening slightly, but I don't want to do the suspension again for a very long time because it's not a nice job to do. It's very tedious and boring and hard work. So I probably will look into getting some adjustable coilovers in the future. Sorry about the wind. But yeah, the coilovers on here at the moment are keeping up quite well. Like I said, I've been up to Manchester and back, and like I said, today alone, the passenger side has taken quite a walloping on the potholes. I'm actually kind of surprised the tyre stood up and the buckle isn't broken. And it's absolutely filthy down the side of the car. You know, so that is rock solid. So I'm quite happy that the coilover didn't break on that side of the potholes today. But yeah, the state of that on that side. Where did I go to get that? But yeah, as you can see, like I said, I tinted the front windows and they look absolutely brilliant, you know. Definitely see in. Like I said, this is my vision. Oh my god, the wind is very strong. Sorry. Nothing I can do about it. So yeah, this is my vision. I keep it very clean looking, not over the top. I've just recently done the badgeless Ford grille. You will see that in an upcoming video. blacked out lights. I've recently just painted the bottom grille as well, again in gloss black yesterday. Like I said, I keep my builds very, very clean looking. I don't go with stickers. I don't have anything advertised on it. You know, I don't do that. That's not my cup of tea. I like very subtle and keeping it very clean looking. A lot of people ask me about the car. You know, what's this, what's that on it. So at the moment, I ain't got a clue how low it is. I believe I'm sitting around about as low as it can go, at 60 to 70 millimeters ish. I don't think I'm that low on the front. I think I'm about 62 at the front, and I think I'm about 67 at the back. I don't know, it's quite close to maxing out the lowness on the back of the car. Okay, I'm going to raise it slightly, just ever so slightly, just to take a bit of rebound out, you know, try and make it a bit more comfortable. But yeah, I do get a load of questions as well about certain parts on the car. I know I do get quite a lot of questions about the wheels. So what wheels are these on here? So the wheels on here are from a Focus ST 170, which is the 2-litre Focus ST of the era of this when these all came out. So the Focus ST 170 wheels and the brakes behind there are also from a Focus ST. These are 300mm discs and the Focus ST calipers, which I have rebuilt and painted myself. So it's all been refurbished and rebuilt. So yeah, I wanted to get the ST wheels to go over the brakes, because the CTEK wheels did fit, but they're very, very close to the brake caliper, too close for comfort for me. So that's why I decided to go for a bigger wheel, and to keep it a Focus ST look to the wheels and the brake area, I thought I'd just go for the wheels. You know, you do actually have to modify the hub to fit the Focus ST stuff, so the wheels fits directly, so the stud pattern's still the same, but you do have to modify the hub to get the brake carrier to fit and the discs to fit on the Fiesta hubs. You have to drill it out slightly to 12. I think it's 12 millimeters. The rear still drums. A lot of people say, why don't you change the disc? You don't really get any benefit from discs apart from looks and stuff like that. And for maintenance wise, I'm just leaving it drums for now. You know, I cannot be bothered to change it out. I'm not too fussed about it. Like I say, you don't really get any gains from it. The braking doesn't change it anyway. Like I said, people just do it for the looks. If I ever do come across someone selling it cheap enough that's already been polybushed, I might look into it, but I'm not really in a rush to do that because it's not broken. I don't need to change it anytime soon, so I'm just leaving it for now. Other things I've done on the car recently, as you know, I've done electric wing mirror conversion, because some of the Mark 6s don't actually come with electric mirrors. Some of them do, which if you have that, you're quite lucky that you have that. So yeah, I've done the updated mirrors with the electric wing mirror wire and harness conversion. So I've done the whole wire and harness conversion on this door for that mirror to work. And on the driver's side, as you know, in the video, I replaced the entire door. And you think that's a bit overkill. It wasn't, because the door on there originally was damaged. It had dents and scratches all over it. So I wanted a nice, clean, fresh door. So when I was in Manchester, I found a door with this exact mirror was on it. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, electric mirrors. This is a perfect time to buy the door with the harness. That way I've only just got to replace the harness on that side, not the door. So I was like, how much do you want for the door? 40 quid for the door, with everything on it. The electric wing mirror, the door card, the glass was scratched, so I had to replace it with my original glass, which is on my other door. Everything, it's a full door. And I was like, yes, I will have that. So that's when I changed the electric mirrors, and I'm so glad I have, because now I can actually, when I'm parking, I can tilt that mirror down so I can see the curb, so I don't worry about curbing my wheels. And luckily, I've never curbed my alloys. I've never done that. I'm very, very careful when I park up. You know, these wheels are in really, really good condition. They do need a refurb, so if any companies out there want to come by and do it for me, I do want to go a little bit darker on the silver for that wind. Or I do want to like a gunmetal grey, a very, very light gunmetal grey. So if any companies out there, alloy wheel company specialists, want to come out and do that for me, feel free. Other things I've done, because I do get asked questions, is how'd you get that in carbon? Yeah, it's carbon fibre. Made it myself. Recently just done a gloss black sunstrip as well. Again, very subtle things I've done. Little subtle thing as well is getting these in silver as well to blend into the bonnet. I know nothing massive, but it just blends in, gets rid of that. A lot of people ask as well, where do you get the diffusers and the splitters from? But this is all just rubber. This is just all the way along down here and along the back. And you think, why have I done that? Because I don't feel like spending over £100 on that plastic fiberglass crap and then I end up breaking it, because I guarantee I would be that person as well. I do see people go online and seeing they've broken it and now they're looking to buy another one. I just think that's money wasted. So this stuff is brilliant, you know, it's rubber and it flexes and it doesn't break, so, and it does look good, you know, it almost looks like a genuine product on there, you know. I mean, it is a genuine product, I mean, like the more expensive stuff, but it folds and bends and doesn't break. So that's what I've got going around the car, and I just think it looks great, you know. Got the Fiesta ZS side skirts on here as well, which was a very, very good little upgrade to blend in with the Fiesta ST bumpers, because I know the ZS comes with the ST body kit, just not the side skirts. I'll go around the other side because the lighting's better around here. Other questions I get, do I tint my rear lights? No, the lights aren't tinted. The only thing that is tinted on it are the indicator and the reverse light area. I've only done that because my indicator and my reverse light bulbs are LED and they're a little bit bright. Same as the lights under the number plate. They're LED, but I've tinted them in black as well so they don't blind anyone. On the back, I don't know if you guys can see, it's pretty dirty. My homemade diffuser with those diffuser fins, you can see the video on my channel. All of this is one piece now. I have glued all of this onto the bumper and I have also nailed it onto the bumper. It's all screwed from behind because I actually did lose this part on the motorway. A bit of air got trapped and it ripped it all off. So I bought another one about 2 years ago, and I thought, to save me losing it ever again, I just glued it. I just tiger sealed it and glued it and I moulded it all to the car. So yeah, none of this is ever going to come off. Yeah. And recent thing is I've vented. A lot of people like this. I have vented the rear lights, so you can see all the way through there. Those are the rear reflectors. Both sides are vented. A little modification I've wanted to do for a long time was vent them, because it's just blank. And the problem is with that bit there, a lot of air pressure gets caught there. You can sometimes see it flapping before I cut that open and vented it and put like mesh there. You can see that bumper just flapping. So to release the air pressure there, because there's no wheel arch liner there, it just stops halfway and then it's all just hollow there and air gets trapped there. So to release the air pressure, I thought just cut open those vents and put some mesh there and it does the trick. As you can see though, it is vented because loads of crap does fall out of it, no water and stuff, but it is vented both sides. So a very good little modification I did for that, and I'm glad I did it. Wasn't it hard to cut that out? I used a heat gun just to sort of get it hot, so I could use a Stanley blade and cut it out. Or you can use a Dremel. Yeah. On the back of the car recently, I've just gone for a black boot trim there, just obviously because there's too much silver, I thought, and obviously go with the black handles on here, because again I wanted to break up the silver a little bit. With a lot of black stuff on here now, trying to break up the silver. So yeah, the black handles, I thought I'd go for the black boot trim. But I just got a question about debadging. So yeah, I've just finished this off yesterday. This was a project. You'll be seeing this in a video coming up soon. So yeah, now I have the Ford debadged grille at the front that you guys will be seeing soon. Getting a bit of a peek at it now. So yeah, and I didn't do a bad job on it. It actually came out really, really nice. I don't know how long it's going to stay. I might end up going back to the Ford badge later on, so stay tuned in the future. That might be up for sale in the future. I have recently just also yesterday painted the lower grille as well, because that was very, very sorry and chipped up. And I don't know if you guys can see, maybe I'll see actually, you can see the intercooler now. I mean, that was completely black before. I gave that a very, very good clean yesterday, so the intercooler is now nice and clean. Yeah. Other questions, the indicators as well. While I was looking at that, these are the LED, the ones that go side to side. I'm not a big fan of them, but I know a lot of people go for the black ones. I didn't want to go for the black ones. I was hoping someone out there made clear ones, and someone did make clear ones with the black background, and they sort of look OEM. Don't really notice them, which is really good until you turn them on. Then you see them going side to side, which is really, really nice. The only problem with them, they do get a lot of condensation in them, so when they actually die, I will put them back to the original indicators. I'm not going to buy them again. You know, I'm not really too fond of them, but yeah, they're the sweeping ones in clear. Really, really nice. Little upgrade. Other than that, I think I've gone over most of the car, to be honest. The interior, as you know, I changed out the interior to these leather seats, half leathers. Absolute bargain. Really, really good condition with both handles that actually work. I mean, how often do you get both handles at work, you know? The interior is completely stripped as well, so it is carpeted all the way through. Got a really nice sort of fluffy, oh, I love that. It feels nice, that does, all the way through. I have Velcroed it there. The carpet's obviously ridden down slightly. But yeah, the boot net don't really do much, just stops my coat flying around. I have blacked out the interior panels, suede, and painted them black at the back. But yeah, I kept most of the trim in here because I don't like to have completely stripped out. I just wanted to get rid of the back seats. I am in the lookout for back seats though, in leather, exactly the same as this. I want them the same. So if anyone out there has any back seats that I don't want and want to chuck my way, feel free to get in touch with me. And they have to look like this, so this pattern, this leather. Yeah, like I said, I don't really do much to the interior of my car, so I keep it very, very clean in here. Focus heater knob upgrade, brilliant. Just that looks better. You know, I have gotten a Mark 6 recently with the standard rubbery ones, and I'm like, wow, that does make it look old. So every time I get in here, I'm glad I have done that little modification. And then obviously we've got the ST pedals in here as well. A lot of people look over that. Got a boost gauge over there, so we keep an eye on the boost pressure. Little things I like to do, like enhance my interior, was just change out the little things like this, like in these in silver, you know, because I've got a silver car, so I thought I'd bring a bit of silver into the heater vents as well. Also got the silver dials around rings, got silver here, silver here, silver here, silver door handles. I thought just break up the vents a little bit. I thought I'd get some silver bits there as well. But yeah, that's about it really. Quickly look under the engine bay. Nothing's really changed under here. And I've got to shoot off home, guys, because I've not eaten today. And there we go. There's the old HDI 16 engine in there. Looking mighty fine. Oil catch can intake from MB Styling. Can't get them anymore, but just keep an eye out on the old Facebook pages. All the boost pipes have been changed out. Bigger injectors. I went for the HDI cover. Intercooler from a Focus RS. Yeah, very light modifications. That new turbo is coming. Like I said, with your help, guys, we can push that episode get done. So feel free to go and grab the merchandise and sign up to my Patreon if you want to. So that is the Fiesta ZSD, as I call it. A lot of people call it the STD. I won't do that. So I'll start it up, and I've got to get going now because time's getting on. So I'll start it up and let you have a listen. There's no noise, but considering that I've got a Miltech system on there, that's quite a nice sound, to be honest. I had a loud straight pipe on here before, and I didn't really like the sound of that. Diesels don't really sound good anyway. I really didn't want a loud diesel because it's quite annoying. Yeah, that's about it really. That's, like I said, that's a Miltech. Very dirty stainless steel system on here. I have heat wrapped it recently as well, trying to get heat in the exhaust and around the manifold area. I'll give a few revs, but like I said, you won't hear much. about it really out of that. What I wanted most of all out of the diesel noise was the intake sound, the turbo noise. Oh, out of the entire noises on the car, the loud exhaust wasn't going to cut it for me. So the intake was the next thing for me. And yes, this is a working boost gauge. Anyway guys, it's getting cold out there, the wind was picking up. I'm going to get going. Thanks very much for watching my live video. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like I said, feel free to sign up to my Patreon and grab the merchandise. Links are on my videos or on my actual Facebook page and my Instagram page and here on my YouTube page as well. All the links are there. Sign up to my Instagram so you can see behind the scenes. There's lots of pictures and stuff been recently up on Instagram and loads of stories and things on there as well. So be sure to get Instagram as well. And if you want to see some videos before YouTube and things like that, Patreon is where you want to be as well. Like I said, we're getting so close to the turbo build episode. Like I said, it's going to be my biggest video I've ever made on the channel. And with your help and support, guys, by just grabbing the merchandise and signing up to that Patreon page, it will help push that video forward even quickly so I can start doing it for you guys. And we're going to be going to HDI, well, we won't be going to HDI tuning, we'll be getting the ECU tuned by HDI tuning. So I'll be doing a whole build episode on the turbo, the remapping side, what to do with the ECU. So all of this will be coming, and like I said, with your help we can push the episodes that are going to be my biggest yet. Yeah, just go and help support the channel and I'll hugely appreciate it, I really would. Because like I said, that is probably going to be the last major thing on the car. There will still be videos on the car to do, but I think that modifying the getting the turbo done will be the last thing I think I will do for a while. Then we'll do a lot of driving videos as well, you know, and hopefully we go to a few car events as well, because I don't go to car events very often, but hopefully we can be able to get this car in some events as well, and you guys can come meet and see the car in person yourself. I know a lot of you do ask, you know, do I go to any meets and stuff like that? They like to see the car, so yeah, I probably will end up going to some more meets and you guys can see the car in person and check it out. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who's watched my live video today. If you're re-watching it later on, thank you for sitting there the entire time watching it. Like I said, I appreciate anyone who does watch the videos, and yeah, get on my socials and add me up. I'll catch you on my next video, guys. Have a good weekend. I have to think what day it was then. Have a good weekend, and yeah, peace out. I'll see you later on. Thanks for watching.